Here and we are live on the Dr. Jim Show. I am so happy to be with you. It is March 1st. Can you believe it? The snow is actually melting up here in Michigan. Fantastic time of year. I can't wait to find the signs of spring here in the not too distant future. So, anyway, if you don't know who the heck I am, my name's Dr. Jim. Nice to meet you. I'm a doctor of physical therapy in the field of orthopedics here in the state of Michigan. And I love helping people get better without drugs and unnecessary surgeries. So if you don't like taking drugs and if you want to avoid unnecessary surgeries, then this is the place for you. So on today's Ask Dr. Jim show, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about a subject that I talk about a lot in the clinic, and that happens to be tingling and numbness in the legs. Okay, and a lot of times people will come to the office and they'll say, "Well, I've got this feeling. It kind of feels like pins and needles." It can be in your arms, it can be in your legs, it can go, in various lengths down the extremities. So sometimes people will feel a little bit of tingling and numbness down into maybe their shoulder or elbow. Sometimes it goes all the way down into some specific fingers, as well as down into the legs. You can get it in your glutes, down the backs of the thighs, outside parts of the legs, sometimes into your shin, sometimes into your heel, sometimes into the outside part of your foot, or even into your big toe. And so the question is this normal? Well, tingling and numbness every once in a while isn't that big of a deal. So, case in point would be like if you wake up in the morning and you've been laying on your arm kind of funny. Has anyone ever woke up? Drop a number one in the comment section if you've ever woken up in the morning and you're like, you got like dead arm, right? You can't like move the thing around because you cut off the blood flow or something, and or you just slept on it funny, and all of a sudden you don't have any movement in your arm. That's happened to me before. It's totally weird. That's typically just a little bit of a blood flow issue from your positioning. And as soon as you get up and kind of moving around, things go back to normal. Well, a lot of times we'll see something like that in the legs. And it's not there all the time. And typically in therapy, what I'll do is I'll start to ask some questions on what either provokes or maybe what alleviates or what people are doing just before or during the tingling and when it happens to start. And that will tell me a lot about the cause of the symptom. So tingling and numbness tends. So, by the way, guys, let me know. I don't really know how to check comments as we come in here. I'm gonna scroll around here a little bit and see if I can find comments. But anyway, I don't. I can't see comments. If you're leaving comments, I apologize. I can't see them right now. But if you do leave a comment, I will go ahead and respond to them as soon as we hop off the live stream. Okay. But so if you're getting some tingling and some numbness in your legs, I want to kind of ask, like I've done a different video in the past where I said, if you get a symptom, back up one step. So if you're like, well, Dr. Jim, I get a lot of tingling and numbness in my legs when I am working at work, and it tends to happen more towards the end of the day. So my question is going to be, so what are you sitting in? How long are you sitting at a given particular time? Do you sit for hours on end? Do you get up and move around, et cetera, et cetera? And a lot of times sitting can be a culprit. So tingling and numbness, that descriptor tends to be a neurological descriptor, meaning tingling and numbness tends to originate or be produced from an irritation in the nerves of your spine. So out of your lower back come these little hairs. They're called nerve roots. Excuse me. These little nerve roots can combine with other little nerve roots to combine into hair nerves. Excuse me. And these nerves travel down your legs and they plug into your skin, into your muscles, so that you can feel and so you can move your bones. And when those nerve roots get irritated, it produces a tingling and a numbness and that sort of thing. And so a lot of times this pain in or this tingling and numbness in the legs can be produced from a nerve irritation, and a lot of times it can be produced from a poor chronic positioning. So let me ask a question here. Drop a number two into the comments section if you know anyone who sits completely upright all day long, meaning they're sitting nice and upright, their shoulders are relaxed, their head is over their trunk, and they're just the picture of perfect posture. I doubt I'm gonna see any twos in the comment section, because I tell you what, it is very rare to find people that do that unless they've been trained or unless they've had issues in the past and they know that slumping will make them feel crappy and they don't want to feel crappy any longer. But most of us mere mortals tend to sit, kind of rounding our lower back, kind of slouched in the shoulders, head forward, and then we're staring at one of these little silly gizmos all the time, and our heads forward. And a lot of these things will put our bones in a position which will minimize and actually make the hole smaller where the nerves are coming out of our spine. It can irritate that nerve root, thus producing a tingling or a numbness or pins and needles down our legs or arms, potentially. So, what in the heck do we do about it? Because definitely, if you continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that is the definition of insanity. So, what we want to do is we want to change something. And so, the first thing that I always change with my patients who are having tingling and numbness in their legs is I take a towel roll and I teach them how to create basically a lumbar support. Okay, so if you take a beach towel, and the reason why I say a beach towel is because they tend to be thinner. If you take a bath towel and it's really super plush, then the thing's going to be way huge when it's going to be too big when you're done making it. But if you take a beach towel and you fold it in half lengthwise, and then you roll it up and you rubber band it on both ends, what you want to do is when you sit in your chair, you want to make sure you sit down and get your butt as far back into the crack of the chair as you can. Because if your butt is forward in the chair, even if you put a lumbar support back there, what's going to happen is you're going to lose the arch in your lower back and you're going to be rounded in your lower back, and the lumbar roll will not be effective. And rounding in the lower back is a recipe to have poor posture in both the lower back and the neck, and it can produce the tingling and numbness, the pins and needles feeling. So you want to make sure you get your butt as far back into the crack of the chair as you can. Put that towel roll straight across your belt line, and then you'll have half a chance at maintaining better posture north, meaning in through your shoulders and neck and upper body. Some other things to avoid if you're having tingling and numbness, pins and needles in your feet is definitely avoid the recliner. I know a lot of people love the recliner. And, they mark, you've got these big plush chairs, and some of them are electric and they just look like the cat's behind, right? And but the problem is that when you recline backward, it tends to make your lower back round again, and what that does is that puts tension on those nerve roots, and the tension in the nervous tissue can actually start to reproduce that symptom into the feet, that tingling and numbness, pins and needles feeling, and that will make symptoms worse. The longer you irritate something, the worse the irritation tends to get, the more chronic the problem tends to be, and the more miserable you are. So I'd highly recommend seat as upright as you can, butt in the crack of the chair, roll up that towel roll, put it across your belt line. Try to maintain some better posture and avoid reclining. So if you do that, you might just get rid of some tingling and numbness in your legs, and be better off in the long term. Now, I want you to remember that the information in these videos are for educational, informational purposes only. This is not specific medical advice for you. So if you've got some tingling and numbness and pins and needles, go see your doctor, for crying out loud. They might refer you to physical therapy for some core and some hip training, some strengthening, some movement re-education. I tell you, learning how to do something called a hip hinge, which is bending over at your hips versus bending over at your through your spine, is tremendously valuable to reduce stress and strain across your lower back, and that can significantly help reduce or eliminate the tingling and numbness, the pins and needles in your legs. So remember, man, this is for educational, informational, educational purposes only. Seek specific medical advice for you and your specific situation. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. Hopefully you guys got some value. If you haven't been over to my brand new website, ptinstantly.com, I'd highly recommend it. I can drop the link down below into the comments after we're done. But I did the math here. Let me see. For 63 cents a day, you can get access to my mind. Meaning, during COVID, I basically brain dumped almost everything that I could think of. Not everything, because there's always stuff that I can put in there, but I did like 60 videos during COVID, arranged them in a manner which is very easily searchable from A to Z, to where you can get some specific information and exercises. I did like an improper exercise, how to correct frequently messed up exercises. I did a series on that. I'm going to continue to add to that as we go along. But if you're looking for a great informational source on information that you would normally get at a physical therapy office, then I want you to go to ptinstantly.com and check it out. And as that group gets bigger and bigger, I'm going to start offering some group coaching, where we'll hop on a Zoom call and I can get some specific questions answered for you. But that will be coming down the road. So again, instantly.com. Check it out, and I look forward to seeing you in another live video soon. So with that, have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless you.